This disorder.
It really is.
So serious. Why don't they call it meningitis?
Yeah.
Asperger.
For you.
I don't know why that made me laugh so much. It's so stupid. Hello, everyone. My name is Ribera Bonbon, and today I will be streaming Community. Was this originally supposed to be a Big Bang Theory stream? Yes. Was the Big Bang Theory stream originally supposed to be an Extraordinary Attorney Woo stream? Also, yes. Did everything go wrong for me to not be able to do any of those? Also, yes. But the good news is that I have gotten requests about Community for like years. Everyone thinks that Abed from Community is autistic. So me, as the only autistic person whose opinions matter in this entire world, that's sarcasm, by the way, I'm here to give the final judgment over whether or not I think Abed from Community is autistic. And if he is autistic, is Abed good representation of autism? Just to be clear, I have seen episodes of Community here and there, but it has been literal years since I've seen it. So I'm coming in this pretty fresh. Speaking of fresh, got a nice, fresh Diet Coke for my sponsorship beg. Diet Coke, please sponsor me. I need money so bad. I am starving to death with my 5 children that don't actually exist. Just pretend that they do so that I can guilt you into giving me money for drinking your product. Thank you. Here we go. Community.
Although she did leave because he was angry, and he was angry because she's American. My name's Abed, by the way.
Abed, nice to know you and then meet you in that order. Now, about that question that I had?
Okay, I can already tell that this character is autistic. After literally 3 seconds of Abed being on screen, yeah, this guy's autistic. I would stake my entire life on it. What he just did was very much an autistic form of communication where he just info dumped literally everything because he didn't know what was relevant to the actual question. So he just gave his life story, which is a very autistic thing to do. I never know exactly how much I'm allowed to tell people. It's a very difficult thing to do.
Well, I only talked to her once while she was borrowing a pencil, but her name is Britta. She's 28, birthday in October. She has 2 older brothers, and one of them works with children who have a disorder I might want to look up. Oh, and she thinks she's going to flunk tomorrow's test, so she really needs to focus, and she's sorry if that makes her seem cold.
Holy crap.
He also just repeated an entire conversation from memory, which is a very autistic thing. I mean, other autistics can do it. I personally cannot, because I am what the DSM-5 knows as a dumb hoe. Having a conversation with somebody and then being able to repeat verbatim what they said, like days, hours, sometimes even weeks later, yeah, that is a skill that many autistic people have. It's part of pattern recognition, and it's a part of scripting, because a lot of us will catalog words and sentences and phrases that we hear into our minds so that we can use them later in conversation to help us mask better and fit in with our community outside ourselves. Like I said, I can't do it like that, but I used to do it very similarly with like movie quotes. I used to speak like in 40% movie quotations because I thought that that was how you fit in society. And that is how my mom got kicked out of church group for having a 3-year-old that would repeatedly just shout, "Stop breaking the law, asshole!" because she saw it in Liar Liar. That's point 2 for Abed being autistic.
Holy crap. Abed, I see your value now.
That's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me.
Okay, that is so sad, but also so true, where people will oftentimes not find autistic people interesting, fun, or want to hang out with us until they see an intrinsic value for themselves to keeping us around, which is honestly very painful, sad, but also true. And point 3 in Abed being autistic. Also, just one more thing in the column of Abed being autistic. This is written by Dan Harmon. This is produced by Dan Harmon, who was the showrunner. Dan Harmon is autistic. And actually, this is actual proof that Abed is confirmed autistic, because Dan Harmon has stated that he learned about his autism diagnosis via writing Abed. He wanted to, yes, Dan Harmon is autistic. He wanted to create an autistic character, so he did his research and he started writing Abed, and he was like, wait a second, that's a little too relatable to me. And he kept going, and he's like, that's a little too relatable to me. And then it turned out that the reason that Dan Harmon related to Abed so much was because he's autistic himself. Which is also why Rick from Rick and Morty is also autistic, canonically. Dan Harmon has a habit of writing autistic characters, and he usually confirms their autism diagnosis via a throwaway line, like Rick Sanchez saying, is this game popular with autistic people? Because I'm starting to love it. Like, so yeah, Abed is autistic, but I'm still going to watch the rest of this. Because let's see if he's good representation for autism.
It's kind of like Breakfast Club, huh?
We are in a library.
Well, yeah, and I'm sure we've each got an issue balled up inside of us that would make us cry if we talked about it.
Do you have something balled up inside of you?
Oh, I got a little doozy in the chamber if things get emotional.
Okay, so let's actually talk about that, because that is a thing that I've noticed that we as autistic people tend to do, because we don't know how to interact socially, because we don't understand social cues and social norms. We tend to model our lives around the media that we have seen that we most feel represents us. That's one of the reasons I have such difficulty with like making friends, having healthy relationships, because I don't have a lot of good representation of how to do that in a healthy way via film. And I didn't really learn how to do it when I was a kid, when I was a child, because I didn't understand social cues or social norms. But yeah, that is a fascinating thing that autistic people tend to do. Like it's part of scripting, which is again part of masking. That's why when you see autistic kids playing, like especially younger autistic children, when they play, they tend to have like an entire script laid out. Like when I used to play pretend with my friends, I practically had an entire script with plot lines for them, with like beats that they had to hit. And if they said a line incorrectly, I would be like, no, say it like this. Like I was never good at improv as a child because I had so many scripts running through my head. And all of them were based off of movies that I had seen. And so I kind of just expected life to be like that. And when life was not like that, I was very disappointed.
Oh, hey, text message. Let's give this bad boy a read.
It's probably you just for
Say you have to pee. I need to talk to you. Say you have to pee.
That is weird.
Do you have to pee?
The amount of times I have done that, where somebody has sent me a text message that is supposed to be private and I have read it out loud. Like, I had to be taught to not read your text messages aloud, because people would text me something and I'd be like, hey, shut the fuck up, I need to talk to you. Oh. Like, the amount of times I've done that. It got to the point where my best friend started like having a code for me, and her code was, don't fucking say this out loud. And she would like start off her text message with that.
But I heard.
I'll just take it along.
You know what I got for Christmas? It was a banner year at the Bender family. I got a carton of cigarettes. The old man grabbed me and said, hey, smoke up, Johnny. No, Dad, what about you?
And that is a prime example of autistic scripting. That is a prime example. He had that monologue prepped and prepared, and he was trying to fit in with everyone else in the group because everyone else was in emotional distress. So Abed said, I have to be in emotional distress too. And he had that monologue prepped. That is some prime autism. That is autism supreme.
Hello?
It's Professor Duncan. Come to the parking lot now.
What's wrong with your voice?
I'm disguising it.
Why would you disguise it and then say your name?
You know, I thought you were like Bill Murray in any of his films, but you're more like Michael Douglas in any of his films.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, you have Asperger's.
I say it every time it comes up. Asperger's is an anti-Semitic term. And also it is, I mean, in holistic society, it's considered rude to just assume that somebody is autistic. I don't know why that's rude, though. What's wrong with being autistic? Because everyone else just acted like that was a rude thing to say, and he clearly intended it to be rude. But yeah, I don't know why being autistic is considered like bad enough for everyone to react like, oh my god, did he just say that? And also, why was he trying to hurt Abed's feelings when Abed has been nothing but nice to him this entire time?
This disorder.
It really is.
So serious one they called meningitis.
Yeah.
Asperger.
Burger for you.
I don't know why that made me laugh so much. It's so stupid. Asperger's is not just anti-Semitic, being named after a Nazi. It's also a very stupid term. It's a very stupid term. It's a very stupid word. It sounds stupid. And literally that reaction is the exact reaction I used to get when I told people that I had Asperger's syndrome, which is why I started pronouncing it Asperger's syndrome instead of Asperger's syndrome. Because if I pronounce it Asperger's syndrome, then less people are like, Asperger's. I don't know why that made me laugh so much. It was so stupid.
What's going on? Can you guys hear me? Am I deaf? Can you hear me talking right now? Yes? That's good.
That is so autistic. That is so autistic. I've been in that position where people are having wordless conversations around me all the time, and I'm just like, I know nothing at all. I can't contribute to this conversation. So, is Abed autistic? Yes, 1000%. He definitely meets the DSM-5 diagnostic criteria for autism. I also feel that he is great representation for autistic people. The ways in which they wrote him attempting to communicate with other people via film it's a very good example of autistic style communication. He was trying to communicate to everyone else via his special interest, which is very clearly film. And I think that the reason that Abed is great representation is because Dan Harmon himself is autistic. This is an example of how media can be less ableist when not casting an autistic person. Not casting an autistic person to play an autistic character is always ableist, because the reasons that we're not cast is because we're seen as incapable of performing, which is just bullshit considering how many of us are like actual staples of the industry, like Anthony Hopkins, Dan Harmon, or there's thousands of us in the industry. But the reason that Community itself, the show, is not ableist is because despite them not having an autistic actor playing the autistic character, he was written by an actually autistic person. They didn't have to fake it. They had the real thing involved. This is a perfect example of nothing about us without us. They didn't do it without us, and that's why it's great. I love this. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Please be sure to give this video a like and subscribe. And I hope to see you next time.